I hid a secret affair with my married coworker. Now everything is falling apart. It was 11:43 p.m. when my phone lit up. A notification I had buried under months of silence and self-control. We need to talk. It's about him. No name. Just the sentence I had spent a year hoping I would never see again. I stared at the screen, pulse slow, breath even. It was strange how fear didn't come loud anymore. It came cold, quiet, almost polite. Behind me, my boyfriend slept peacefully, his hand resting over my waist as if he believed I needed protecting. He didn't know I was the threat. My thumb hovered over the message. The contact was saved under a fake name, a harmless word, Thomas. But I knew the number. I had memorized it long before the affair began, and long after it ended. A married man with a son, my coworker, my worst mistake, my best-kept secret. I locked the phone, but the silence felt heavier than the message. I got out of bed, careful not to wake him, and walked into the bathroom. The mirror didn't lie. It showed the version of me I tried to bury. Sharp-eyed, calculating, ready to run again. Why now? Why tonight? The phone buzzed again. He knows. You need to fix this. A quiet war opened inside me, and I knew something was coming. Something that would drag the truth out of the grave I'd buried it in. Everything I'd built with my boyfriend, everything I pretended to be, it was about to break. The affair had been quick, thoughtless, a mistake born from loneliness and the illusion that someone finally understood me. Mark, my married coworker, had been warm in the way dangerous people are. Sincere smiles, soft apologies, a wedding ring he never removed but always touched when he lied. I told myself it wasn't emotional, just two broken people in empty rooms. Then I met Daniel. Daniel was everything Mark wasn't: steady, gentle, painfully honest. The kind of man who made you want to confess even the sins you never committed. So I buried the truth. I ended things with Mark with a single sentence: "This never happened." He agreed, too easily, almost as if he had rehearsed the line. Months passed. Daniel became the first thing that felt real in my life. I started sleeping again, smiling again, believing again. Until tonight. Until the message. I shouldn't have panicked as quickly as I did, but panic reveals what you fear losing, and I feared losing Daniel. My phone buzzed a third time. He's going to tell your boyfriend. I can't stop him. My chest didn't tighten. No shaking hands, no tears, just a slow sinking feeling, like a body lowering beneath cold water. I sat on the bathroom floor, back against the door, and finally understood what was happening. Mark's wife had found out, and Mark was trying to save himself by sacrificing me. There it was, the truth I had been running from. My past wasn't done with me. It was walking toward my present, quiet, patient, and hungry. I didn't respond to the messages. Instead, I opened a folder I hoped I'd never need. Screenshots, old texts, dates, times, proof. Not of the affair, no, of what happened after. Because Mark hadn't taken the truth well. He had begged first, then threatened, then softened again. The cycle of a man who didn't know how to lose. I documented everything, and then I cut him off. But his silence was never real. He moved through the office like a ghost, watching, hovering, waiting for the moment I slipped. Tonight proved he'd been waiting too long. I opened his social media. His wife had posted an hour ago. Some truths destroy everything. Pray for my family. So she knew, which meant Mark was drowning. And drowning men cling to anything to stay afloat, even the person they pulled underwater with them. I took a slow breath. The next step was obvious: protect Daniel, control the narrative, stay ahead. I checked Mark's call logs through the work system. My position allowed limited access. He had dialed my boyfriend's number. Once. Twice. No call had connected yet. And then, my phone vibrated. An unknown number, but I knew who it was. I let it ring, then die. Control. I needed control. I walked back into the bedroom. Daniel stirred, eyes half open. "You okay?" he murmured. "Yeah," I lied. "Just couldn't sleep." He smiled softly, trustingly, and closed his eyes again. Guilt flickered in me. Quick, weak, gone. I sat beside him, watching the rise and fall of his chest, memorizing the peace I had stolen. There was no universe where I let Mark destroy this. No universe where I let the past win. I opened my laptop and began gathering everything: timeline, messages, proof of Mark's manipulation. If the truth surfaced, I would make sure all of it surfaced. Not just my part, not just my sins. His, every single calculated piece of them. The game had begun. At 3:12 a.m., my inbox lit up with the file I had been waiting for, a forwarded email from Mark's wife. To HR. She had already reported him, and she had attached screenshots. Screenshots of messages he sent me after I'd ended things. Messages I never responded to. Messages that crossed every line a married man should have. If Daniel saw these, he would understand everything. Every lie, every truth I had swallowed, every silence I had weaponized. My stomach didn't drop, my heartbeat didn't rise. I was strangely calm. The door creaked. Daniel stood there, hair messy, eyes heavy with sleep. "You're still awake?" he asked softly. I turned the laptop toward him. "Sit," I said. He did. I opened the screenshots, all of them. His breath caught. Not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet, broken exhale. "Who is this?" he whispered. "My coworker," I said. "Before you." Silence. "And this? Affair? It was before us?" "Yes." Not a lie, not the whole truth either. "And after?" He wouldn't let it go. I cut him off. "He threatened to tell you." Tonight, his wife found everything. Daniel's jaw tightened. His eyes glistened, but he didn't look at me with hatred. He looked at me with something worse. Disappointment. "You should have told me," he said. "I know." A pause. Long. Suffocating. "I'm going to bed," he said finally. "We'll talk in the morning." He walked away. And for the first time tonight, fear didn't come cold. It burned. Morning came sharp and unforgiving. Daniel sat at the table, coffee untouched, eyes hollow. He didn't speak. So I did. "Mark tried to contact you," I said. "He wanted to twist everything before you heard the truth." Daniel looked up slowly. "Why would he do that?" "Because his marriage is collapsing," I said, "and he needs someone else to blame." I slid my phone across the table. Every threatening message, every desperate call, every manipulation Mark had attempted. "Read," I said. Daniel did. Page after page. His expression shifted, not toward me, but toward the man who had tried to destroy us both. "He used you," Daniel muttered. "He tried to use me." "No," I corrected quietly. "He tried to control me. He failed." Then I pulled out the final piece, the email I drafted to HR. A clean report, a timeline, evidence, everything. "You're reporting him?" Daniel asked. "Yes." His throat bobbed. "Why tell me all this now?" "Because the only thing I ever lied about was the beginning, not the ending." He stared at me. And for the first time, he saw who I really was. Not the warm version, not the soft version, but the version shaped by survival and silence. "I'm not asking for forgiveness," I said. "Just clarity." Daniel breathed in slowly. "I don't know what we are now." "Then watch," I said. "Watch how I finish this." I pressed send. And just like that, Mark's career, lies, and marriage collapsed under the weight of his own actions. Calm, precise, final. A week passed before Daniel spoke again. Not with anger, not with love, with truth. "You were wrong to hide it," he said. But he was worse. "I know. Can we fix this?" "I don't know," I answered, "but I won't lie again." He nodded slowly. Maybe we would survive this. Maybe we wouldn't. But something inside me had shifted. I didn't feel guilt anymore, or fear, or shame. Just clarity. The past didn't own me. Mark didn't own me. Even Daniel didn't own me. I had walked through the storm of my own making and come out clean on the other side. Not innocent, not forgiven, just unbroken. The last line formed in my mind, quiet, sharp, and final. The truth didn't set me free. I set myself free.
How could you do this?